Welcome to the jungle, baby.
We got fun and games. Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, fuck it. Like, what am I gonna do with Boxing Day? We don't celebrate that shit here. I guess I could start. Doing Boxing Day. Yeah. I asked someone. I was like, "Isn't that holiday about like doing stuff for your slaves or something?" And they're like, "Well, they call them servants, but yeah." It was like, yeah, I don't know about the slave holiday. It's crazy that they still do it, like in Canada and shit.
Yeah, isn't it basically like take pity on your indentured servants day?
It's basically like any presidents you got on Christmas or like that you had before that you think kind of suck or whatever, you give them to the servants and then also like let them go have the day off. Because it's like, well, you had to work on Christmas because of course I need you here for that, but the next day, whatever. Here's some shit that I don't want. Hit the bricks. That's Boxing Day, which is very fucking funny.
I feel like it's like an early example of like the typical like white liberal guilt assuaging shit that people do. Like, well, I donated to Doctors Without Borders once this year. Mm-hmm. That cleans my conscience for the rest of the year.
That shows everybody. That'll show them.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
And welcome to Death of the Universe, a podcast that asphyxiates and defibrillates itself while predicting the future and procrastinating in the eternal present. It is 9:15 p.m. in USA Central Time. Curveball.
USA. Number one, baby. We did it again.
Friday, December 28th, year of our Lord 2024. Coming to you now from the past. No, not from the Korean Peninsula, but from the quiet desperation of the USA suburban clusters near the urban polis of Chicago. You are currently listening to the past vocalizations of me, Joshua Nominutashio, and to my distant southwest is Tim, GST, Holiday in Cambodia, Buckner. What's up, Tim?
Oh, it's always great to be on the only podcast that is constantly insulted on this platform. How are you doing this night, Josh? Doing good. You're back in America. You can breathe free. You can actually, I don't know what things you can't do in Korea that you can do here. You're not allowed to impeach your president. I think that just happened in Korea, right? They get a new prime minister and then they instantly impeached him. Come on, man. You guys are, the Australification of Korea is already in full-fledged, It's fantastic. Are you guys going to start calling everybody bogans? I don't know what's going on over there.
Is that an Australian thing to just like...
Yeah, that's an Australian. Yeah. They can't keep a prime minister. They fucking toss him every couple months.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the United States, I guess, as much as I possibly can. Well, that's a terrible lie. That's not. That was because exaggeration. That's just not true. But no,
there are people that really do it up. They love America.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's a lot of people actually. They're like, this place is great. You know who loves America the most though is immigrants. Immigrants on H-1B visas.
This is true.
They love America more than anybody. They want to make it great again because they're like, I came here because it was great, and now it's all woked up or whatever. Let's fix it. And let's also call Americans retarded. It's pretty good. Pretty good situation we got going on with all that.
Yeah, I mean, we're like obviously closing out the calendar year here, and so we can tent our fingers and get real reflective or whatever. But also there's of course always new news floating in the air.
The news stops for no man.
Maybe we could start there. I would say, yeah, the most important news of the day does involve migrants and immigration policies.
It's very interesting because it's like the whole immigrant thing. I was like talking to someone about this where it's like, I think that people vote for a lot of people. There's some people who are just obviously just racist, whatever. That's fine. I think honestly, even the racists are kind of in this camp as well, though, where it's like, I was comparing it to people that voted for Brexit that then afterwards when interviewed were like, well, I didn't think we were actually going to leave the EU though. Like people vote for Trump because they're like, well, I like a lot of the stuff he does and stuff, but they're not actually going to kick out all the brown people. Right? Like, for the most part, that's how most people actually who vote for him see it. But the only people that are, like, now kicking up a big stink about this shit is, like, the two immigrants that are, like, really close and high. Or I guess, I don't even know they're really close, but they're in their little Doge corner together. And they're like, no, we're gonna really do this thing. We're gonna get in there.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Vivek is technically not an immigrant, though. I shouldn't say technically. I mean, he's sure. What, first generation? Is that what you would call that? If his parents immigrated here? Yeah. And speaking of,
well, the thing is that people use it in different contexts. It's like biannual or whatever. People use it different ways in different contexts because some people will say if they're saying a first generation immigrant, then they will mean the person who actually
that's what I was
to
thinking,
the country. But then they will say a second generation immigrant would be the child of the person who immigrated here. And in America, because of birthright citizenship, a lot of times that person would be technically a U.S. citizen, but they'll call them a second generation immigrant or whatever. In Latino culture or whatever, here we have like the Chicano, which is like the second generation immigrant, like of a Mexican, the word for like a Mexican person for that. But yeah, he would be, Vivek Ramaswamy he's a Chicano, is what he is. He's a proud Chicano male.
Chicano presenting Latinx male presenting person.
Yeah. But I mean, some of the hardliners of Trump world or just the like, we don't like fucking anybody who's not white or whatever. They're like talking about that those people like getting rid of birthright citizenship. So then like saying, yeah, if we're going to deport, the parents, we're going to deport the kid too. That one guy even said that, the guy who's like the border czar, right? He tweeted that shit out. I mean, you call him the border czar. That's this is a fucking crazy part of this whole thing. Trump keeps appointing people to positions and like, he's not even president yet. And then everybody in the media just accepts it. Like, he might as well just be president at this point. Because the way that everyone talks about it, it's just like, they're just calling these people like, that they are in this position that like, he's basically just tweeted saying that they're doing it. And he's not even president yet. They haven't been confirmed. None of this shit is happening. But it's as if it is.
Yeah, J-Rabbit B is truly like effectively dead at this point.
And Kamala just disappeared. She went back to wherever she was hiding before. So it's just like, it's like nobody. We're just like, fucking, this is senioritis on steroids, folks.
I mean, that's the thing too, though, is that like, what makes for better, clickbait, whatever, than the shit that Trump does. Like, of course they're going to run with those stories. They're more interesting than like, oh, Joe Biden drooled out his ice cream again. Like,
right. I mean, the fucking cable news places are champing at the bit to like get back to the gravy train of Trump being president, because that was the last time that they had any fucking, which I don't think it's going to matter, because I think that people do not realize how much just like cable has cratered, viewership is gone. Like I like, because of wrestling, you like follow this because like the only way that you can prove that anything is good in wrestling is by talking about the ratings constantly. It also makes it so that you're a serious person. You have to care about how many people watch a show. But like, television ratings are fucking in the toilet. They're not coming back, but all of the like cable news networks are, I mean, not even just the 24-hour cable, like even like ABC and shit. They are ready for Trump to be president again, because they're like, this is the only way that we're going to keep this shit afloat. We got to get back to the golden days of Trump as president. So they're willing to run with it, like you said, because it's interesting, and also it's like they want it because this is how they're going to make their money, or at least they think it is.
I mean, it's like that thing we talked about, I don't know, whatever, a couple weeks ago or something, with Morning Joe and his and Mika, the Morning Joe couple, like immediately, like the day after Trump wins the election, they're like literally fly down to Mar-a-Lago to, kiss the ring or whatever, and they're like, why wouldn't we? Right. Why wouldn't we just be on friendly terms with Trump, huh? Some people are asking us why we're doing that. Well, I ask them, why shouldn't I?
Why would you ask me that, huh? Would you ask if I was a woman of color? Would you ask me that? And then they're like, no, sorry, hold on. I'm sorry. I've been too used to the Biden woke stuff. I have to remember. I have to recalibrate for Trump's America. What am I supposed to say? It's none of your damn business, I guess, is what you say.
We will soon outlaw the words they and them used in any context. I was gonna say the most important story of the day, though, that is well, it's directly related to this civil war that's broken out within the Republican Party, within the conservative USA movement, which is how it's being characterized as of the last, I don't know. This just happened the last day or two, maybe. Anyway, but no, first things first, we must deport Dasha, necromancer, back to Belarus. This is we'll call this a mini Red Scare scrounge up.
It's the only sensible thing, and it should be a day one. I mean, even if you can't, change the laws again, like we talked about, getting rid of birthright citizenship or whatever, we've got to, maybe he can do it with an executive order, but yeah, that should be a day one, EO for Trump. Get her out of here.
So this is a real change.org petition.
Did you see the second part? Did you see the second one as well? The second Dasha related petition?
Where's that?
Okay, the second one was for her to be excommunicated from the Catholic Church. So
that's good.
She needs to get deported, and she should be excommunicated from the Catholic Church. So,
this was started up 2 days ago. It says that her father was granted entry into the USA through an H-1B visa. Now that Elon Musk and Vivek, super long last name, that's how it's written here, have been defeated by real patriots on Twitter/X, the H-1B program is being discontinued, and all those who have received them in the past will be deported even if they've obtained U.S. citizenship. We, the undersigned, urge the U.S. government to deport their children too, even if they are citizens of the United States of America, and humbly request that the first deportation be a symbolic one, that of minor E-celebrity Dasha Nekrazova. Dasha necrophilia.
Not gonna live here anymore. Get her out. Get her back to that fucking shithole.
You think somebody sent this to her by now?
She has to know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's too bad because they're, she no-sold it. She didn't mention it on the podcast, I don't think. So that's too bad. Well,
it says it just started like on the 26th. So
fair.
it's also in reaction to all this Vivek Department of Doge bullshit.
Right.
Nonsense that's going on right now, which I guess all seems to have popped off because of a tweet by Mr. Ramaswamy, where he basically said that the U.S. needs to import talent from elsewhere because we have been slaves to mediocrity or something.
Right.
I forget exactly how he phrased it, but now the Steve Bannon wing of this coalition of artards and libertarians and whatever conservative people, now they're just sniping at each other. It seems Steve Bannon's going after Elon Musk. The glorious pages of Newsweek magazine. Now I'm only discovering this, today, 2 days after this whole thing kicked off.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that this is just a whole lot of, again, like we were talking about, just trying to cash in on the Trump headline grabbing news. But they keep referring to this as like a war. It seems, I guess it is over something that, half of these people at least like claim to really care about, which is keeping anybody out of the country.
Right.
That's just what's so like annoying about these discussions in general, is that like both parties obviously are indebted to companies that 100% rely on cheap, illegal migrant labor.
Right.
Rely on if they want to, maximize profits, obviously.
Sure.
So all of this shit just ends up coming off as like, if it's genuine, it is just people like embracing their racism more fully than others, I guess. But other than that, it's just like, it's a very stupid, cynical distraction, I would say.
Right.
See Laura Loomer get in on all of this.
Saw something offhanded,
Yeah, she seems like the woman scorned here. She seems very jealous.
Right.
She's been unceremoniously kicked to the curb after her like 1 day of or 1 week or whatever of being in the news cycle. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else really to say about this.
About Laura Loomer?
About the whole thing, the Civil War.
Sure.
This new Civil War.
I think it's good. It's positive. We all need them to. I don't know. Again, like you're saying, it's like, what is there to even fucking say or care about at this point? It's like,
God, Elon Musk will not stop using his son as a fucking
human shield. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's so funny to me that he just keeps doing it.
Yeah. Which one? Which kid even is that one?
I don't know. I think it's the same kid that he was like tweeting through.
Yeah. Oh, that one, the one that he uses for his horny Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His test account.
It's just, I just thought about it because of Azalea Banks popping off on Grimes again because of some stupid AI art bullshit that just happened recently. And I was like, is that one of the Grimes kids, or is he already like past that? Like, are those guns already old news? Because he's always out making more. It's like, Jesus Christ. And then it's like, which ones does he have? Sure. Which ones does he have contact with? Which ones does he not? At any given moment, it's confusing and hard to follow. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I guess the biggest takeaway, again, just goes back to what I was already saying. Like, none of this shit should even be real. It's all just on the internet. And, like, these people aren't in control. Like, Trump is not president. They don't have any power. And they're just, like, fighting over weird, like, what they're trying to, like, pick what restaurant they're going to go to. And they're already getting in an argument. Like, that they are going to fucking ruin everybody's night at the Buffalo Wild Wings when they finally decide where they're going. You know what I mean? Like, it's turning into, like, that kind of relationship where you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on the people's fears about Elon Musk are a little overblown.
Sure.
But yeah, they're they're treating the situation like not only is Trump in power already, which he's not, but Elon Musk is his brilliant puppeteer,
right?
Which I just gonna have to try to convince me harder, world. I'm just not really seeing that as the true reality of what's going on here. But
yeah.
And that's when I saw that Steve Bannon was going off on him. I gotta say, I was feeling a little bit personally validated there. It's just like, see, it begins already.
Right. I'm like constantly waiting for like what's going to be the Musk like bust. You know what I mean? Like when are they going to pull the plug on this guy? Cause like, you know, obviously all of his money is on paper and it's all connected to the government. Like he's not really the richest man in the world. You know what I mean? Like, so they're going to eventually just pull the plug and fucking be done with this guy. And it just feels like, when is it happening? I'm getting so but that's also like, it's weirdly Musk plays into like dead internet theory, right? Like, why do these fucking memes just hang around? Why do these things have this life cycle that they shouldn't anymore? Like, why is he still around? We've gone past the point of needing an Elon Musk. His usefulness has ran out. Can we get rid of this guy?
Unfortunately, I think he's here to stay.
Yeah, we'll see.
So yeah, that's the internal dynamics of the Republican Party as of this moment. I was trying to find some like a kind of summary of like the last year of Javier Milei, El Presidente of Argentina.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding some stuff that says that they're saying that he inspired this Doge bullshit, but it's just because, of course, Elon Musk and Ramaswamy have expressed admiration for anarcho-capitalists. And also I'm seeing like even in like a lot of mainstream news that like as the year's like ending, they're like trying to spin like the economic situation in Argentina in a totally false way. They're like, oh, Milei's libertarianism has brought down inflation somewhat. It's like, yeah, but like look at all the other numbers on this spreadsheet that you're just ignoring.
Right.
One article sums it up here as, everything is so bad. Argentina's poor, hit hard by Milei's chainsaw measures. And yeah, it's things are not going well under Milei's strange leadership. I did look up the old year in search 2024. I've already forgotten if it was interesting or not.
Nice.
I mean, like the top 10 searches, period, I guess, without like limiting them to any category. I don't know what like most of them are. And most of them seem to be about foosball, soccer, if you're nasty. And then the guy from One Direction who died, which I just learned about today because of that. Donald Trump is number 6.
Sure.
Number one search in the world this year, apparently, was Copa America. I don't know what this is.
That's more soccer.
I think it's all soccer shit. So number 2,
Copa America is a soccer thing.
UEFA European Championship. 3, ICC International Criminal Court. No, ICC Men's T20 World Cup. 4, India versus England. I wonder if that's just in general or it's about sports. Probably sports.
Yeah.
Could be about curry styles. I don't know.
I'm into that.
Yeah, 5, Liam Payne. 6, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's got to be pissed if he looked at this.
Yeah. He's like, they're cucked. The polls are cucked.
We need a Trump European soccer team. Yeah. It's the only way I can get to number 1 next year.
We gotta uncuck the Google trends, folks. This is how much they hate MAGA. They're trying to cover up for the fact that he was actually number 1.
Donald Trump was a more popular search than India versus Bangladesh, iPhone 16, Olympics, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. What did she get up
when
to?
It was like she had cancer and stuff.
Ah, that's the cancer one. Got it.
Pretty sure that's it.
People were concerned.
Well, it was like she disappeared, and then people were like, what the fuck is going on with this bitch? And then it was like they didn't say anything, and then eventually had to say, yeah, she got cancer, that's why she's been gone. And who even knows? But she's okay now or something. and it's all your guys' fault, or don't you all feel bad now that you wouldn't just let her be, but she's okay? And I kind of go like, is any of this real, or are you guys just being jerks? Is this like just like trying to rub people's nose in it kind of thing, you know?
It looks like in the news category, number one was U.S. election. So this is global, people. You got to remember. Yeah. 2, excessive heat.
Sure.
3, Olympics. 4, Hurricane Milton. 5, something written in Chinese.
Sure, that makes sense.
I can't read. 6, Iran Rafah. 7, CrowdStrike. 8, Trump shot. Again, Trump's getting put way down on the list.
Damn.
I guess it makes sense. I believe I'm one of those millions of people who typed in the words Trump shot in the moment that it was happening.
I was just looking about getting a COVID booster, and then because that's what I call it. I call it the Trump shot.
A hot Trump shot.
I'm gonna go get that Trump shot, folks. Because he did it. He deserves more credit for it. He's the one who made it.
Yeah, Operation Warp Speed. That was a real name for a government program. 9, Menendez brothers. 10, monkeypox. Looking at all these end of the year things, it's made me realize that monkeypox is still alive and well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because those bottom two, the Menendez brothers and monkeypox, it's like, oh, that's the thing where they talk about like, you know, such a small percentage of the society is actually gay, you know, because they're the bottom two search. There's a lot of people who claim to be bisexual, but they're not actually queer. They're not out here searching for the Menendez brothers like the real homos.
Top people searched. Number 4 here surprised me a little bit. So 1, Donald Trump. 2, Catherine, Princess of Wales. 3, Kamala Harris. 4, Iman Khalif, the female boxer who was being investigated. Yes. And then Joe Biden was Joe Biden was cut off by Iman Khalif. So it just shows how into Joe people were this last year. Then Mike Tyson, then JD Vance, then someone, Lamine Yamal. I don't even know who that is. Lamine, what did I say?
Oh, yeah.
9, Simone Biles. 10, Diddy. Did he do it?
He did not. He's innocent, folks.
I mean, yes, he's innocent. That's the new
we all know that.
Stance of the pod.
The stance of the pod is he's innocent of all the stuff that he's getting in trouble for right now, but he did kill Biggie. Like that's the official stance. So he should go to jail, but just for something else.
Yeah, that's probably enough out of Google year in.
Speaking of the Diddy and all that, did you see the Kim Kardashian Santa baby video that came out for Christmas?
No.
Oh, well, some people claim that they think
funny.
It's like it's meant to be like showing like dark side of the Diddy parties or something. I think like that's probably just really, really stupid people. If you look through the comments on something like a Kim Kardashian music video, you will see some of the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth. It is very interesting, man. I'm just like, it's the people who like post the shit that's like a thought that should only be coming into the brain of like one of the dumber people, like the most surface level stupid idea. And it's just like, okay, it's one step to be so dumb that that's what you think. It's another step to be so dumb that you just post it. Like, instantly just like, oh, I think that she's addicted to drugs. People were saying that about Kim Kardashian. I think that she made this music video and all the stuff that's happening in it, and it's because she's addicted and she's strung out on drugs. I'm just like, what fucking planet are you on? She needs help. I'm praying for her. She's been, God, what's the word? I'm trying to think of what they call it, where you have to get an exorcism. She's been demonically possessed. People are posting that. I think that she's been demonically possessed, and I'm praying for her because of a music video. Like, it's got some avant-garde, like, weirdness to it, right? It's made by this director that's Nadine Lee Cohen, who, like, I've been following for a while because she does, like, really weird stuff. Like, it's clearly meant to just be, like, weird, but because it's, like, being exposed to people who follow Kim Kardashian because she's very famous, they just, like, have never seen something like this before, and they're just, like, again, they think that like because the house is dirty in the music video, that means that that's like where she lives, and she must be strung out on drugs. It's fucking insane.
It's depressing to even hear you relay it secondhand. Yeah. I'm feeling like embarrassed for somebody who's not even here.
Right. It's brutal, man. I don't understand. Like, people, when you hear the statistics where they're like, this many amount of adults can't read or are functionally illiterate, you go like, that can't be fucking true. Every person I meet day to day, they can all read. How is this possible? And then you go onto the internet and you see stuff like this and you're like, oh no, I get it. I get it. This is where it's all of these other people. America is so big and it's filled with so many stupid people. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I guess Vivek was right after all.
Yeah, it's true. Circle back to that.
No, it's enough of that. I'm so sick of... I can't believe how much fucking play this Doge shit has been getting. But then again, like I said, of course it is, because it's fucking rage bait. It's whatever. It works on several bait levels.
Yeah.
Peak one being master, of course.
Right. So I was thinking of how to do that. I was going to say, Elon is the master of bait. Either way.
So, a year. Let's remember the past year, shall we? When I saw January and thought about January, I was remembering that Barack Obama Mandela, the politician we champion most here at the podcast, go in the back catalog if you don't.
Yeah.
It's too complicated to explain his whole deal, or just look up Barack Obama Mandela and check out his various books.
We don't endorse a lot of politicians on this podcast, but we do endorse Barack Mandela. What is it? Barack Obama Mandela.
Yeah, but yeah, he was still in the running for Dianne Feinstein's emptied seat.
Right.
Unfortunately, Adam Schiff was the one who ended up winning that.
Shifty shift.
So yeah, I mean, just let's all have a moment of silence for Barack Obama Mandela, or his campaign that ended all too soon.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he's got to be back. Steamboat Willie entered the public domain last January 1st.
Oh yeah, I remember that. People were talking a lot about that, and nothing really came of it. The only thing that happened that was big was more like Winnie the Pooh. They made the Winnie the Pooh horror movie. And then I'm trying to remember, maybe it was Mickey Mouse. Someone made like a long YouTube video. I think it was that. I don't know the guy's fucking name, but he's a comedian that a lot of people who I know like, that I don't necessarily really care for his stuff. But he made like some one of those like found footage Blair Witch type things, but it was about like him trying to like make a horror movie idea where he turns into Mickey Mouse, but he's evil. I didn't watch all of it, so that's why I don't even understand. But I don't remember anything coming from that, but people were acting like, oh, Mickey Mouse is in the public domain, we can do all kinds of stuff. And did you see... I didn't see a bunch of stuff. No one cares about Steamboat Willie, right? Like, I don't give a fuck about Mickey Mouse being public domain. What are you gonna... Like, okay, cool. I don't know. Does it matter?
Yeah, I don't think it does. And, Disney is infamously litigious about their IP.
I think the thing is it's like, who fucking cares? Because like the Disney adults, the fucking Disney freaks, like they're going to support Disney, so they don't want like the knockoff. They're not gonna like that. Like, oh, I can do like Mickey Mouse. Like, they're not gonna support that. They want to support the evil company. That's like that's part of the whole thing, right? If you're like into Disney, you like that you're supporting the big company.
Well, you need the pure shit, not the stepped on fucking public domain ass Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Claudine Gay, Harvard University president, her ass got January 2nd.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For plagiarism. Did I can't remember the white fragility lady. I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Whatever. Everyone knows white fragility, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, she there's some like big scandal with her book, that book being like having a ton of like plagiarism in it, which is kind of funny.
Robin
when
D'Angelo,
these like
that's it.
when these like extremely like academic people like are just like cribbing shit. It's like, do they think? I don't know. I mean, I guess if they did it like years ago, maybe it was more likely they could get away with it. But like nowadays, I feel like people catch plagiarism pretty easily.
Right. It's spreading. Everyone's catching plagiarism. Right?
Also, the thing with Claudine Gay, like, because it came out of they had a hearing on like anti-Semitism on college campuses because people were protesting genocide.
Well, I mean, the others were. They were all there because of some, like, was it Gaza? Was that what it's called? I was there because I was just saying, fuck the Jews. Like, I was, but everyone else there was talking about some other stuff. I don't know what the fuck it was going on, but yeah.
That's what you do for fun. Just go down to the old college quad and start chatting up some co-eds about what do they know about the Council of the Elders of Zion. Yeah.
Have you heard about these guys? Yeah.
Have you listened to this? They dropped a new mixtape. Wow, so many things happened, and
There's
also it's like so many things didn't happen at the same time. I think it was about June when one of the like unironically probably best news stories of the year broke. Julian Assange finally being freed from torture prison. That was a good one. I remember that. Of course, we had the election. I mean, obviously, we covered a lot of that in real time. I don't know if I'm really looking back on it with like different eyes. Like, I mean, a year to me at like this age, like feels like nothing. So yeah, the summer feels like it just happened yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the fuck happened this year. Oh, here's some other good news.
Okay.
Because when you start scrolling through United States, a summary of what happens in the United States over a year, inevitably it's going to be like at least 10 different famous mass shootings. So I looked up some stats, and in this glorious year, 2024, our mass shooting statistics are much better than they were just a year ago. 2023 shootings per day on average 2.14. 936 people killed. Rough, right? Jeez, does this happen in any other country on earth? No. But this year...
But we got those numbers up, is what you're telling me.
Actually, I guess with that metric, we're doing worse. But yeah, 1.5, only 1.56 shootings per day now this year on average.
Come on, guys. I'm counting on you. It's the one thing we can do. How... Jesus.
And less people killed and less people wounded. So take that news and do with it what you will. I will tell you, if you're ever looking to get a real deep sense for how fucked up the state of gun violence is in the United States, go to masshootingtracker.site and take a scroll through. Like, you just start seeing the dates, and like I'm like right at the top here. This is like there were 2 mass shootings 2 days ago. There was one on Christmas Day, one on Christmas Eve, one 2 days before that. They're like, it's just basically daily.
That's
and
good.
On average, it's more than daily.
Yeah, right. You said it's 1.6 per day, so I mean, shit. Yeah, there should be at least one per day, or else our numbers are off. So, all right, good work, everybody. We'll figure it out. I mean, I will say probably the numbers of actual shootings are staying pretty solid, but you're saying the deaths per shooting is going down, which I think It's just, again, it's more examples. It's woke DEI bullshit. We're having more female shooters, so you're gonna see the deaths drop. The KD ratio is gonna go down because they're just not as, it's how it is. Women are just not as good a shot. But hopefully we can correct for that. The ladies can get better at it. Or we'll just have to accept it, and it's another one of these it's just, again, more DEI. Oh, why can't the shooters be women? Like, okay, fine. Whatever. I'll just let it go. But, it used to be a lot better when it was just the fellas, right? Our numbers used to be a lot higher.
I think who can argue with such facts and logic? Not me.
It's like, what am I going to do, you know? If Hollywood decides that's what we have to do, then I guess it's just what we have to do.
Jesus, it's just like everything is a shooting when I'm scrolling through here. Chicago train shooting, Appalachia High School shooting, shooting. Try something new, Lady America. It's getting old. Of course, two assassination attempts on Donald Trump.
No, hold on. Before you move on, you did say try something new, America. Well, your prayers have already been answered because someone set someone on fire on the train, remember? So we are branching out. We're doing things other than just shootings.
I did see that.
Yeah. So, you can't get down on America. We're going to figure out a way to do mass casualty events in different, unique, and interesting ways. Like I said, maybe if they've decided that we have to do DEI for the shootings and women can do it, well, guys got to figure out something that they can do. So, yeah, they're going to light people on fire. Maybe we'll get some more bombings. Who knows?
I'm just picturing like YouTube tutorial videos showing you how to mass murder on a budget type shit. It's like some trad wife doing like artisanal pipe bombs,
right?
Suicide vests, or just good old fashioned matches and gasoline. I don't know how I was going to connect that. Oh, right, the trad wife thing. Throw in a miscellaneous here. Pornhub sees surge of interest in trad wife content, modesty, and mindfulness. What's up with that? Yeah, this came out of Pornhub's year in review report, as it says here. Reveals a search for something very mindful and very demure.
Yes.
It looks like some of the search terms are also like respectful sex, traditional lifestyle. All of this like makes perfect sense to me in a way, and it's kind of like, I guess it's a good thing, maybe, or maybe it's just neutral, whatever. But like, there's a sort of a ramping up, like treadmill of hedonism effect that I think people are probably aware of, if not first hand, so to speak. Anyway, my point is like, this is just looped around to like the most depraved, like whatever, like shit you start branching out to for masturbation content. And
I, for one, I'm all for it. I think it's great. I think it's good. Find new and unique and interesting ways to jerk off as well as kill people. America is always inventing. That is what we're good at.
Yes, indeed.
Cranking it and shooting people, or killing people, I should say, because shooting is boring. We don't want to just do shooting anymore. Hell, if you can do them both at the same time, you'll at least get on the news. A lot of those mass shootings you were talking about, people didn't even mention, right?
Right. Let's see here. More in the nitty-gritty daily life of Americans. Stressed, in quotations, Amazon driver abandons 80 packages in Massachusetts woods during holiday shipping rush. That kind of covers it all. The way that this is covered in the media, the lamestream media,
the quote unquote media,
is kind of annoying as well. That there's just like, there's no sense of any sympathy. They're just kind of like, oh, this guy is such a scammer or something. Like, he's making up excuses to be lazy. And when you see like how hard a lot of these people work, like especially like people doing gig work for fucking Amazon, it makes total sense to me that someone would just snap and throw a bunch of packages out of their car.
Right.
But the guy like came to the police like the next day and like, sort of turned himself in, I guess, even though I don't think it's really illegal what he did. He was basically like, yeah, I just, was really stressed out. But I came back to the woods to find this stuff, and it was gone. So sorry. And I guess
we've all been there.
They didn't disclose his name, which I guess is nice of whoever's involved here. But yeah.
Well, I hope he's doing okay. Like I said, we've all been there. For him, it was 80 Amazon packages that you left in the woods that disappeared. For others, it's, the corpse of your ex-wife. Whatever it is that you misplace after leaving it in the woods because you were a little bit too stressed out,
My first job I ever had as like a very young kid, I was like 10 or 11, just got like a paper route. And there were like the papers that the people actually like paid for the subscription to. And then there were just these free bullshit ones that at least maybe that's how I justified it. But I remember doing that paper route and I would just like get tired and just dump like all these free papers into the woods and just walk home.
That's fantastic. That is exactly what you should be doing. You were literally causing like fucking a lot of the waste and destruction of our environment. Good job, Josh. Proud of you for that. No, you were just a spoke on the wheel. You didn't cause any of it. I'm kidding. But if you want to make penance, you can hold your breath for hold your breath for 30 seconds every 2 minutes, and then you can maybe cut back on your own personal carbon release to help atone for your everyone do that. Hold your breath 30 seconds every 2 minutes. Keep a counter, keep a clock. We gotta all stop breathing as much, and maybe that will fix it.
That's how we win. That's how we avoid the water wars.
Yeah. Don't even think about doing terrorism by shooting a CEO. But just hold your breath, and we'll get through this, guys. We'll get through it together.
Speaking of CEO slaying, I mean, hey, remember way back when that Luigi guy made the news? Maybe like the last 2 podcast episodes that we spent a lot of time talking about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
I did have one new thing that we didn't talk about before, though, on that topic. As I would say is probably in the top 5 things that happened this year. I don't know. Where would you rank the Luigi saga? It feels like sometimes I'm like, does this feel like a bigger deal than it really is? And I'm not really sure, but
yeah, I 100% think that it is. Like, it feels like a bigger deal than it actually is.
Yeah.
But it's just because it's like it's I don't know how to put it. Like it's a show. It's interesting. It's unique. He's whatever. It's exciting. But it's just one guy killing one guy. You talked about how many mass shootings happen. On top of the fact that we have wars. On top of the fact that there's active genocides. I was going to say, there's an active genocide that happened this past year, but there's multiple. Like one guy shooting another guy is really fucking low on the list, but it becomes a big deal because like one of the guys was rich. You know what I mean? Like, and then the other guy is like handsome.
I think the fact that it feels like a big deal, I mean, it just says something just about how kind of fucked up this country is. Because like, yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal anywhere else. But like, because of what it represents, what he was trying to make a whole point of out of this assassination is something that hits close to home. But it's also interesting that like companies are like kind of folding slightly on some of their more hardline policies or whatever.
Right.
Like so, like I don't know, I forget which company, it doesn't matter, but some people finally got like their payouts of like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and like, but they've been waiting like 20 years or something, and they're like, unrelated to anything that's happened in the news lately, we've decided to give people their money. It's like, oh gee, interesting timing.
Yeah. Oh, wonder if this is related.
And
to
seeing Elon Musk with the barely hidden terror in his eyes as he lifts his little child on his shoulders as a little human shield.
Right.
Like, I feel bad for that kid, but it's like, fuck you. You deserve to be afraid all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so this related story, leaked video shows insurance CEO gloating about denying care, calling critics delusional. Yeah, this was the CEO of United Health Group, which I think is the larger umbrella corporation connected to United Healthcare. Anyway, they're interrelated somehow. Andrew Whitty, the CEO, made some eyebrow-raising remarks following the assassination of his colleague Brian Thompson. On the day of Thompson's murder, Whitty addressed employees in a company-wide video in which he justified their practice of stamping out, quote, unnecessary health coverage. Our role is a critical role, and we make sure that care is safe, appropriate, and is delivered when people need it. How the fuck does a insurance company make sure that healthcare is safe? That's not their job at all. It's not even close to what they do.
Right.
Yeah, we're right there. We're sitting right next. We're holding the hand of your loved one as they pass from this world onto the next. We're right there with you every step of the way.
Yeah.
We will personally taste test any shots about to be given to your children before the needle is plunged. Anyway, he goes on to continue saying, also shout out Ken Klippenstein for leaking this video. Is it video? Anyway, yeah, video.
Nice. Yeah. I got a Ken Klippenstein like the other day for my reply.
Nice.
I was pretty happy about that one.
And we guard against the pressures that exist for unsafe care. See, again, with this, like, we're looking out for your safety shit. Or for unnecessary care to be delivered in a way which makes the whole system too complex and ultimately unsustainable. Oh, gee whiz, people are getting care. It's too complicated. Unlike the very straightforward, not complex way that they rip people off.
Yeah, well, it's like, what's, not brain surgery is brain surgery. But what is brain surgery is paying for it. That is, we just really can't figure it out. Doing it, sure, no big. But paying for it, I don't know. Anyways.
In reading so many of these articles lately about this, it's like, what is this? Futurism.com. I'm going to guess their politics are pretty libified, but
probably pretty good.
But the average article ends up getting to a point, even if they're really critical of the healthcare or health insurance industry, they end up just being trying to make it seem like it's a few bad apples type thing. So they say here in this article, as critics of the healthcare industry might argue, Whitty's comments are emblematic of insurers' ruthless cost-saving policies that prevent patients from getting coverage for often crucial or life-saving procedures, leaving them with enormous medical bills. Instead of, I don't know, what I would appreciate more, I guess, but I guess I shouldn't expect out of just every article is a more thorough critique of capitalism instead of just it's these darn ruthless cost-saving trends that these CEOs are really into these days. It's that's kind of the way they make it sound. Or they're, they can't help it. It's but don't you see that's the problem then? If that's what it means by definition to be a private corporate entity is to maximize profit every time at all costs.
It's the only option. There is no other choice. You're not allowed to. But
it's the whole thing of that's not a bug. It's a feature.
Yeah.
It's just being overlooked. In every article,
you have a fiduciary duty, and you should kind of imply that to the rest of your life. Anything you're doing that's not making you money, you should probably cut out. Anything that causes you joy, or makes you happy, but it's not making you money, well, it's not important. Yeah, it's the only option. Everything has to be. I say this and I spent a long time of my life legitimately believing that and seeing the world that way. Which, I guess say a long time, but I was when I was a child, when I was a very stupid child. Yeah. But yeah.
And then another story came out that, it's not surprising really, but the insurance industry leaned on the Department of Justice to take Luigi Mangione's case as a deterrent against copycat killers. Yes. I guess there haven't been any copycats. I'm honestly kind of surprised there haven't.
The closest thing was that, remember when we talked about it, that lady on the phone
she
said,
she just said words over the phone.
Right. She was reading the title of that book.
Right.
But yeah, they, again, like you said, taking it federal and making it a terrorist, making it calling it, officially charging him with terrorism, having the ability to have the death penalty, like really throwing the book at him. And we mentioned the minor Red Scare scrounge up earlier, but like, yeah, it's just incredible listening to them like dancing around all of that stuff, being like, well, I mean, it just is terrorism. How do you, and it's just like, it literally just saying stuff. And it's like things that just fly in the face of shit that they've said in the past, but just clearly grifting. It's really fucking disgusting to hear. It's just like, it's not just terrorism. Like there's no other way to describe it, right? Like that's fucking incredibly stupid. And then also being like pro death penalty at the idea that it could, like Luigi would get, murdered when you're supposed to be Catholic. It's like fucking against the Catholic faith to fucking, the death penalty is not supported by Catholicism, like, right? Like, just incredibly fucking stupid people. Either way, why even bring that stuff up, right? But it is because to argue against that idea, like, and to say like, oh, it's so foolish to say it's not terrorism. It's like, oh, what's the definition of terrorism, right? It's like an act of violence to try to like influence politics or whatever. Like this was not terrorism. The idea was not that this was a threat that was like going to influence politics or whatever. Like he may have had like ideas, but the idea of it being a threat is that you think that like he's going to do it again. Terrorism, there needs to be like a network or at least like the idea, but like the fact that like he is not like a vigilante on the run looking to murder every CEO and he's in jail at this point. Like, it kind of, like, flies in the face of the idea that you could charge him for terrorism, right? And I don't know. Either way, it's all very, very ridiculous. And it's also, like, the whole thing is fucking trumped up. Like, having a charge of terrorism seems like it's like a theoretical concept. It really shouldn't be, like, an extra thing that they can add on, like, a bonus to get you more fucking time, or be able to, I guess, less time, to be able to kill you because they, like, have this made-up thing where they call it terrorism.
Yeah, it's totally incoherent. Like, just the distinction of terrorism, period, like, in a legal sense or any other sense, like, kind of doesn't make sense. Like, as a legal thing, I guess, especially. But, because, I mean, it's just that whole issue of, like, one man's, terrorist is another's freedom fighter type thing.
Right.
To where...
Well, and it's like, it's like the dreadlock. I love the dreadlock thing or the straight edge thing, right? The, like, if you're not now, you never were, right? Like, I feel like if you're being tried, if you're in jail and being tried for terrorism, then you're not a terrorist. Because as I said, like, part of terrorism is like that there's it's hanging over people's heads that you're going to continue to do whatever thing, like whatever violent act. But if you're in jail, if you're apprehended, if you're fucking incarcerated, then it's not hanging over people's heads, so you can't be a terrorist. Right? There's nothing terrorizing about Luigi Mangione sitting in jail.
I mean,
like, I'm not scared.
The
of
argument,
him. You get
the
my
argument
point.
would be the copycat argument, which is what they are going to try to argue. I'm sure in court.
He's trying to foment some like mass movement of people who would continue to do, but he didn't. If he was doing that, I mean, with the internet, like you could pin that on more like that fucking the dumbass femcel shooter who tried to post her manifesto, but didn't realize that she had the shit set to where you couldn't view it on her Google Drive.
Right.
Right. She forgot to change the fucking set. Like he didn't. You have the internet. If he was trying to spread this message of people doing this, he would have like actually done it, but he didn't. He had the manifesto in his pocket, handwritten. He didn't post and like try to tell people to follow in his footsteps and do what he's doing. It's like, I just really don't see. I get what you're saying, but like, yeah, you don't really have like the proof of that in any way. But that's not what this is about, right? This is not about proof.
Even if you accept, like, for argument's sake, like a certain definition of terrorism, it doesn't really work with his case, I don't think. And if it does, then it could be applied to like probably any case of murder, like murder in the first degree or whatever, like with any sort of premeditated planning or whatever.
You could like basically say that any like drug related murder is like a terrorism, right? Anyways, like you said, pretty much anything. I mean, you could even like fucking say that like stand your ground, castle doctrine, like, in defense, murder is terrorism because you're like saying like, if you come onto my property, I'll kill you. you're sending that message.
Right.
Oh, isn't that terrorism?
How does this picture of Lauren Boebert make you feel?
Oh, that's a good one.
Shall we analyze this picture of Lauren
Sure.
Boebert? She's surrounded by her 4 sons, I assume.
Large adult sons? No, they're children, I guess.
The oldest looks maybe 12. They're all holding big, powerful guns of some sort. I don't know, guns.
Sure.
Let's call them AR-15s.
Yeah, why not?
And they're posing with the guns in front of a Christmas tree. This was posted on Twitter by MAGA Voice at MAGA Voice.
It's pretty good.
How does this photo of Lauren Boebert and her family make you feel during Christmas? And they got some very earnest answers. It's beautiful. This literally makes me smile so much. What a beautiful family. Standing guard over their mother. Don't mess with them. And then someone had the real bright idea. One Chuck Calesto, blue check. They wrote 100 times better than this. And then there's a
that's a good
news article. I don't know what it's from, but it appears to be just from like right before Christmas this year. Gay couple who showed off picture perfect family get 100 years in prison for horrific rape of adopted sons. I don't know. I just thought like this is.
I'm going to say I don't like either of these. Yeah, that story kind of goes around. I haven't like dug into it. I feel like it's probably true.
Not saying it's impossible, but just like the way that the headline seems so. This has to be like at least New York Post level conservative.
Sure. I think it's I don't know. Like I said, it goes around as a meme. I'm sure that there's probably something to it that's not like as fucking legit as it, like exactly what it says, but also like, who knows? Obviously it's not good. I'm going to say I don't like either picture. I don't like either picture or either family. Not a fan of what's going on in both places. I was trying to figure out, because I'm like, this is like, looking at these kids in this group, it's like, this is not everybody's got the same mom and dad looking group, but I think that they do, but she is separated now from her husband, or at least I would hope, with that jacking off a dude in the fucking theater video, because that was not her husband, it was just like some guy. So I'm guessing that they are, somehow they had all those kids together and then got divorced. I don't know what the deal is there. Either way, like I said, I'm not a big fan of either of those families, because it's not good. It's not good to do that. It's not good to do that to your kids either way. Not a big supporter.
I just went to Lauren Boebert's page, and it says, blah, 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 Congresswoman candidate, blah, blah, blah. Professional rhino hunter, RINO.
Okay.
And then finally, raising my boys to be men, all caps, before liberals teach them to be women. Good stuff.
I like that she's like accepting that it's not going to stick. She's teaching them to be men, but then the liberals are going to teach them to be women. So I just have to accept that. It's going to happen. But
when I saw this picture the first time, I think my first couple of thoughts was something like, is this going to have like a virgin suicide style ending? These 4 boys, some horrible tragedy with these.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably.
What was the deal with those virgins committing suicide?
It's not good, folks. It's not
I've seen
good.
the movie, but
especially because they were hot. I was actually brought this up recently to my wife. Like, I want to rewatch that. Like, 'cause I haven't seen it since probably the same time you did when it like first happened.
Yeah, good.
When the suicides first happened.
When they invented suicide in 1998, I don't know, whatever that movie was.
Sure. Well, obviously we know that they invented suicide when Josh, when was suicide invented? When Elliot Smith did it, when he obviously killed himself.
Yeah.
That was the first time, and the cops looked at it and they said, Jesus Christ, we didn't know that you could do this. But he clearly did this to himself. No one else was involved.
His girlfriend was hiding in the bathroom or something, so I believe it.
Yeah. The door was locked from the inside. There was no way she could get in there.
Yeah, so the picture of Lauren Boebert and her 4 large sons.
Her 4 non-blondes.
Makes me feel like I should rewatch The Virgin Suicides. That's the ultimate.
I think the only issue there is that based on their mom, I think it might be a little bit late for this to be a virgin suicide situation, if you know what I'm saying. Because those boys probably get around. They are ran through.
Jesus.
That is a family that plays it fast and loose with promiscuity.
Well, it's been a hell of a year, huh?
It's been a great year for talking about underage boys having sex.
It's an evergreen topic, but yeah. Oh, we gotta before we wind down or whatever. I feel like we've got to talk about Trump's Christmas message to all.
Oh, this is a good
It's
one.
pretty good.
Yeah. He really, because, people do the Christmas, like, there was the Kevin Spacey.
Let me be
annual
frank.
Christmas tradition. Yeah. There's the Kim Kardashian annual Christmas tradition. The Donald Trump Christmas tweet or post or wherever truth or whatever he's doing has become really a thing of its own, and it's honestly probably the best of the annual like online Christmas traditions that we have now. There's not really anybody else who's doing it quite like this.
Yeah, I looked at his sort of Christmas. I mean, there's probably multiple ones, but there was one from last year's Christmas time that was just him, ranting, and like I think it ended with like, not "I'll see you in hell," but like "I hope you all burn in hell." But then it was like, "But seriously, Merry Christmas, everybody."
But seriously, folks, we can put it aside for a minute and remember the reason for the season.
I'll read this as I have written here. Trump's quote-unquote isolationism is a farce, obviously. But I don't know. I think there's still some people who sort of buy into this idea that he's like less hawkish. And maybe like on a relative scale, he might be less hawkish than your average politician. But it's still relatively very driven by imperialism. And anyway, we can see that very clearly in this one paragraph of text.
The only hawk that Trump enjoys is a little hawk tua, if you know what I'm saying. He likes to have someone spit on that thing.
Shout out Hawk Tua. What's her real name?
She's doing good. Haley Welch.
She's come under fire for her in scare quotes.
Yeah, her
coin, whatever.
Yeah, her meme coin,
which apparently just like crashed all in one day. But yeah, I mean,
absolute, just classic textbook rug pull situation. Yeah. Critical support to Haley Welch, the Hawk Tua girl. We know she didn't mean to do that to those people, and the reason why she hasn't shown back up or posted or done anything since is she's just trying to find out whoever did this. We're just trying to find whoever did this. She's wearing the hot dog suit. You know the meme.
Oh, that's a good one. Still good. Donald J. Trump truthed out. Merry Christmas to all, including the wonderful soldiers of China, who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal, where we lost 38,000 people in its building 110 years ago. Like how he's just like spitting some encyclopedic facts out right there. Mm-hmm. You know what's weird to like, after seeing that video showing him like dictating his tweets to his assistant, I don't know maybe there's more than one, but there was one particular one I saw. It was just like him watching himself on TV and like Matt Gaetz and Tulsi Gabbard just like hanging out. and he's like just saying all this dumb shit to a person who's typing it out for him. But anyway, like he does the thing where he like capitalizes like letters to make things into proper nouns, even though they're not, right? That's like his style.
Yeah.
But if he's just like dictating that, why does the person like, I wonder if he specifically dictates that too. He's like, that better be a capital P on Panama or whatever.
I think that it's like a style thing that the person he's dictating to has to like learn.
So they just like, so maybe he did personally tweet a fair amount and they're just like picking up like where he left off with his little quirks.
And I think that it's one of those things where it's like he trains them, they have to be trained properly, and like if they're not getting it, he probably just gets rid of them. You know what I mean?
But he doesn't.
If you don't understand the Trump syntax.
I like the idea that he's doing it like natural selection. Like he won't tell them what they should do, but if they just do it,
of course,
if they just do it naturally, they get to stay on, but they don't know why either.
Yeah.
Trump goes on to say, always making certain that the United States puts in billions of dollars, caps. Anyway, billions of dollars in repair money, but will have absolutely nothing to say about, quote, anything. Getting lost in this tangled web you weave, Mr. President. Also to Governor Justin Trudeau of Canada, Governor. It's a real sly dig. Whose citizens' taxes are far too high. But if Canada was to become our 51st state, their taxes would be cut by more than 60%. Their businesses would immediately double in size, and they would be militarily protected like no other country anywhere in the world. Is Canada like...
They're failing. They're not doing good. Folks.
Are they
very bad?
Are they not protected right now? They're just like sitting ducks.
There's at any moment the
the U.S. already treats Canada as a 51st state. It's just not. It's in all but officially, you know.
Well, I talked about this before. I mean, a long time ago. But the idea that like we're going to annex Canada as like global climate change becomes more of an issue because we're going to want the land there that becomes more, inhabitable and more like, desirable as time continues. We're not going to just let them keep it because just like you said, de facto, we've just like NATO and all this shit, like de facto, we've like been in charge. We're footing the bill for all this stuff. Trump just like makes it more obvious. It's like we would have like just, slowly, whatever, partnered with them more, this and just like back. Trump is just like, no, fuck all that shit. I want it just out there in the open. We're taking it. Because we're going to want their timber, we're going to want their oil, and we're going to want basically what's going to change from frozen tundra into farmland over the next couple of years. An inhabitable area for people to fucking live in and produce things. We're going to just have to take it. And Justin is going to have to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he, as Trump is wont to do, he's making that subtext text.
Right, exactly.
Finally, he threatens Greenland. Greenland. Likewise to the people of Greenland, which is needed by the United States. I like that. Which is needed by the United States.
We have to have it.
Well, we do need it. Did you hear that part? I didn't think so. Okay. Now give it up. Greenland, which is needed.
Hand it over, Greenland. For
national security purposes and who want the U.S. to be there, and we will, ... So...
It's ours. We want it all.
And I guess people were comparing, like, they did the same shit again, as they always do. Like, well, look at Biden's nice message, which some assistant wrote for him and copied off of a template that's, like, been in the presidential filing cabinet for, like, 100 years. Like, look at that. What a good man Joe Biden is. Compared to this whack job Trump, who just is slightly less of a liar, or he lies in a different direction than other politicians. But yeah, the wanting to like take over the Panama Canal and Greenland and Canada all in one tweet is pretty impressive.
Take it all. Why even? Yeah, why beat around the bush?
I mean, Trump's the guy who, like, very famously, or in my mind at least, famously said That's why we're in Syria. We're taking that oil. We're getting the oil from Syria and the wheat. And the wheat, folks. The wheat as well.
He starts talking like the giant and the what is the beanstalk? He's like, I crushed his bones into my wheat.
Well, as we've thoroughly surveyed this year of ours that's coming to a close here, I don't know. Should we predict something? Should we look at some of these dumb predictions?
Sure, why not?
I mean, one of these lists is just like, it's just like showing like nobodies on Twitter like predicting shit about pop culture. It's like,
it's pretty
this
good.
is what counts as an article on.
You're literally just like posting a schizophrenic person rambling on the bus. This is a news article now?
People are sharing their unhinged predictions for 2025. And honestly, wow.
We got some honestly,
BuzzFeed by way of Yahoo Entertainment. Haktua girl joins The View. Boo.
Yeah. She's better than that.
New Rihanna song, and it's bad. Rare slime captivates nation. What am I not understanding there? Because that's the thing that this article writer, quote unquote, latched onto. They said rare slime captivates nation feels just wild enough to be true.
It's not even that wild. It's just like people are really into making slime. You know, like there's like the slime mushrooms or whatever. Like I don't know.
Huh. Okay. I thought maybe there was some like
whoever's writing this just being stupid.
I thought there was some deeper lingo or something I was missing.
No.
Minecraft movie related serial killer. I don't even know what that means. Who are these people? Well, like you said, schizophrenics off the bus.
Yeah.
Trump dies, becomes back to life. All right, class clown. Enough.
Okay. That's a big old goof. I like this one. Mr. Beast canceled to James Charles by sister levels.
I will predict that Norm Finkelstein will assassinate Benjamin Netanyahu. And if you kill him, you become him. So,
okay.
You get to
so Norm Finkelstein becomes the prime, or is it the president
prime
of
minister,
Israel?
Yeah.
Prime Minister of Israel. I like that one. Earlier, I was trying to think of the way to like post this, make this maybe display name in the future, but it was going to be Norm Krankenpeen. I was trying to figure out the right way to spell that so people could understand that it's a play on Norm Finkelstein, but it's about jerking off. So thanks for bringing him up, so I could just I could throw that one out there.
How about Norm Flick my bean?
Norm Flink my bean is pretty good. Yeah.
Or bean, flicking the bean.
Flink my bean. Yeah, ladies too. Okay, we can do that. Ladies can jack off too.
I was just trying to think.
They're going to be shooting people.
Well, we got there, folks. Norm Flick my bean will be.
That's our prediction for 2025. Prime Minister of Israel.
Prime Minister for life until he passes. That guy's always talking about how he's just like ready to die. I feel like in interviews, he's like, "It's over. It's over for me."
His whole thing is like about talking about people that died in the Holocaust, right? It has that like feeling that like when that's your whole thing, then you're always ready for death, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. Chet Hanks hosts SNL. Is that even like a prediction? Who cares? Is that something that someone would care about? I feel like this past week I've seen way too much SNL content, like people acting like it fucking matters and they care. You know what I mean? About fucking SNL, right? Have you noticed that? Maybe you've been in America or you're getting in the vibe.
Not really, but I can buy it because I think you and I were talking about this the other day. Like, they have to muster some sort of like resistance energy, but like it's seeming like pretty half-hearted and pathetic from what I can gather.
Right. Yeah, it just feels like, I feel like people have been just like talking about it more, acting like they care about SNL, like they watch it. I'm just like, you don't watch this shit. You don't care. The same person also put Jeremy Allen White plus Sabrina Carpenter's Summer Fling. And this is a good one because they match each other when it comes to like attractive but no sex appeal. It would probably be the most interesting celebrity couple for that in that regard. Because, like, everyone talks about it with Sabrina Carpenter, but no one really talks about it with Jeremy Allen White because he's a dude, and people are used to dudes having no sex appeal. But, like, for a guy that everyone talks about how hot he is all the time, like, Jeremy Allen White just does not, like, have, like, sex. He comes across, like, an attractive, like, he's really attractive, but he's, like, asexual. Like, or he's, like an autistic guy where, like, there's, like, this really hot autistic guy that doesn't realize that he's attractive because he's, like, too busy thinking about trains. Like, that's his vibe.
Or
and then Sabrina
being
Carpenter,
a chef or something.
Yeah, he's too focused on like heroin, and he doesn't realize how good looking he is. Yeah, like, so those two would be perfect for each other. So, anyways,
well, that seems as good of a place as any to
sure
to
call it
wind
quits for the year.
down. For the year, indeed. We'll be back next year. Love making that joke. Never get tired of it.
Everyone loves it.
I did it at least 4 times before I left Korea.
Yeah. Kept telling people, I'll see you in Korean New Year's. And they're like, that's different. It's a different time. That's not happening right now.
It is later.
And then you had to do the math where you're like, what is it? 32 plus 2 or whatever. What is the thing about your age and your real age? And yeah, so good job, Josh. You confused everyone thoroughly.
A recommendation to leave you with today is go for walks. Walks are fun.
Hell yeah.
What I like
For
to
your
do
health.
is I like to look at the old digital map on the old phone and just find places that I've never been before and just like, I'm going to walk to that place through this way. And it's good. Even in places that are sort of familiar, you can always find little unfamiliar things in them. Even if you live in the suburbs, which I have been living in for the last week. And I've been going on these like 4 or 5 hour walks. And they've been good. Even when the weather is total shit, like it was today. So walking while using a map or not, whatever.
It's got to be at least top 5 ways to ambulate. Highly recommend walking.
Somnambulate. Yeah, that's another one.
Nambulate. No, wait, we can't get there. We can't skip ahead. I am going to recommend the Four Brewers. The Four Brewers YouTube channel, I think, will be the thing that I send you the link to. Four Brewers Podcast. This is a group of 4 dudes who have done like home brewing and commercial, like different levels of commercial brewing and stuff. There's like beer guys. I followed them for a long time. They're kind of back. They're kind of not. They used to be a lot more consistent with their content, but then they took like a few years off, COVID, blah, 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 whatever. Seems like they're being a little bit more consistent with putting stuff out again. So you can check out their YouTube channel, check out the podcast. Check out Four Brewers. It's pretty interesting. They get into like beer stuff pretty deep. They talk about news and different like stuff. And it's kind of like fun, funny. Yeah, I would definitely recommend people check out Four Brewers. That's my recommendation.
Nice. And check out the show description. Go to our link to our Discord. Join the Discord. Post on the Discord.
Link to it, folks.
Link to a.
And post on that thing.
Post on that thing. Got there. And the other things in the show description, there are lots of links. You can see the actual show notes if you're so inclined. Links to other things like YouTube, Twitter, and so on. Tim has another podcast, Q&TR. That's letter Q, ampersand. Oh, no ampersand. I can't remember. And letter T, space, ARE, which you can find on violentpeople.co as part of a podcasting and article writing wrestling collective. Tim is back.
I expected you to be going longer. You usually take longer on everything, but you pretty much nailed everything. It is ampersand. It should be ampersand Q, ampersand TR. I think if you search that, you'll find it on Spotify and most places. So I have won that fight finally after years of saying that I wanted to. I've got it. And yeah, violentpeople.co. It is. I like the idea of it being a wrestling coverage collective. So we'll stick with that one. But yeah, check all that stuff out.
All right.
Oh, and follow me on Twitter at ROH Dutch. Still,
that's right. You can keep up to date with all of Tim's different Twitter handles. I'd like to think I get to most of them. I guess I don't know how. I don't use Twitter quite as much as you maybe, but
sure.
I feel like you change yours at least once a week, I would say.
It's tough. It's kind of all over the place, but it does feel like now that you reference it on the podcast, I try to keep it to a week so that I don't burn through them as fast.
Okay.
And change them every week, but sometimes it feels... But this one has been hanging out since last week. This one was actually ready for last week. But then it was like, we didn't do it, so I just said, fuck it, and I kept it this whole time.
All right. So... Wow, 2024. This is it. Here comes 2025. And as Cormac McCarthy always says, the universe is no narrow thing, and the order within it is not constrained by any latitude in its conception to repeat what exists in one part in any other part. Even in this world, more things exist without our knowledge than with it, and the order in creation which you see is that which you have put there, like a string in a maze, so that you shall not lose your way. For existence has its own order, and that no man's mind can compass, that mind itself being a fact among others. Haktua. Happy New Year. Good night. Good luck. Good morning, Vietnam.
sound. You had me waiting. You're my playground love.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?